In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Amen. The gospel lesson for today has two things that are significant. One is the beginning of the fulfillment of several prophecies. Several times in the gospel today, we heard, because of what was written by the prophets, out of Egypt I have called my son. The prophet wrote that there was wailing and lamentation. And the prophet wrote that Jesus was going to be called the Nazarene. There were 450, as I said the other day, 450 prophecies in the Old Testament about the coming of the Messiah, and all 450 of them were fulfilled in the person of Jesus Christ. So in this morning's gospel, 3 of them were fulfilled in this one person. And so when people say, like, was this really true or not true, what are the odds that 450 things can happen to the same person? 450 things that were told centuries in advance would happen to one person. They all happen to the person of Christ. The second thing that is of note in the gospel, as I mentioned a few moments ago, 14,000 infants were slaughtered by King Herod. There are a couple things of note here. First, the mentioning of King Herod and the slaughter of innocents is a historical fact. The Bible says this happened because Herod was threatened by Christ, by his presence. But if you throw Christ even out of the picture, history says that Herod did this awful slaughter and died shortly thereafter. And so it's really important, as I said last Sunday, that we understand the historical context in which these things happen. This isn't, the Bible is just a nice storybook, but the things that are contained in it, many of them are historical fact that non-Christians will agree on, that these things actually happen. So we know that Herod did this. And we read in the gospel that Herod was enraged. He was enraged because he was tricked by the wise men. He told the wise men, come back after you find Christ and tell me where you found him so that I can go and worship him. And of course we know that wasn't his intention. He was going to go and kill Christ because he was threatened by him. And so when the wise men left and they were told by an angel to go home by another way and not to see Herod, Herod was in a rage and he killed all the children that were 2 years old and under, because that's the time that the wise men told him that they had followed the star. Many of us went to Christmas parties, maybe many of them, in the last week. And at the Christmas parties that I went to, there was lots of food, and there was lots of laughter, and it was very carefree. Miles and miles away, it seems, from the stresses of life. I didn't see any rage in any of the parties that I was at. Nobody got angry. Nobody threw anything. Nobody rushed anybody. It was actually kind of a nice break. The preeminent emotion in our world today is not anger, certainly not joy, but it's actually rage. It's actually rage. And it starts off on the road with road rage. They even have a word for it. But this is the primary emotion that we have. And so Herod, in a fit of rage, killed innocent children. And us, 2,000 years later, in our fits of rage, are killing innocents. Not innocence with a T, but innocence with a C. We're taking the innocence of life, and the innocence of youth, and the carefreeness of how we should be, and the joy that we should have, and we're killing it by the way we behave. I went to a gathering last night, and on the way home, people were like riding on my bumper. I'm like, we left from peace, and we went right back to rage. I gathered with a group of young people the other day, and just enjoyed the time, speaking, talking, laughing, having a good time, far away from the rage of the world. So what I want to leave you with today, and as we leave this decade, and we begin a new year and a new decade, I want everybody to think in the church how I can be someone who is spreading joy and reducing rage. How can I do my part to reduce the rage in the world and restore the innocence into the world that God means for us to have? Everybody's innocent, it seems, when you sit around the Christmas tree and you see the lights and you gather with family and you overeat and laugh and whatever it is we do. We need to have more of that in the world. it seems like we have a big influx of that this week. And then next week, it's like we take the Christmas tree down, we start the new calendar, we go back to work, and we become just what we were before. So if you want to leave today with something to take this week, what can you do to reduce rage and increase innocence in the world? The last thing I want to leave you with this year is that you hopefully received the messenger for January. And as we do for the last couple of years, I've encouraged everyone to choose one word that will define your year. One word. Many of us make New Year's resolutions. We write down long lists of things we want to do. And by the end of January, not only we're not keeping them, we don't even remember them. So I encourage you to pick a word, one word, and use that one word to define your year. Write that word on a little note card and put it next to your nightstand, and you can do like what they do at Notre Dame when they go play football. They touch the little sign on the wall and play like a champion today. You can go with your word, and you can like tap that on your way out of the house, and just check in with that one word every day. Check in with that one word every day. You can take one word with your spouse and have that define your marriage. For those that are working, you can gather your people in your workplace and say, let's have one word that's going to define our year. Because one word, that's a word that we can remember. And so the word that we're going to use for our church is the word time. The word time. And I'll talk more about that in a couple weeks, but how we spend our time, how we use our time, are we joyful with our time? I'll talk more about time later. But choose your one word, and if you don't mind, after you choose your word, send me a one-word email with your one word. And I'd like to compile those and make a big poster that we have in the hall so we can see the words that our community has chosen for the year. So we can see them and pray for them and think about them as we look at the word that we've chosen for our community. I hope and pray that I'll see many of you on Wednesday so we can start our new year and our new decade in church, praising God and thanking Him for bringing us to another year and another decade. Thank you for a wonderful year. I'm so glad to see so many people in church today, and I look forward to passing through the end of this year into next year, welcoming our hierarchs and visitors, and then in a couple of weeks, cutting the buses open and getting back to the normal life that we're used to here. So God bless you and keep you, and have a happy